Real hip hop. Yo, what's good? What it is? What up? What down? It is another episode of Some Dude Podcast, episode 16, and I'm JR Bang.
It's on today, baby. Podcast Sunday, Some Dude Pod. I am your boy Mike B. Please rate, like, subscribe, drop them comments, and engage in all Some Dude Pod talk. Spotify, Apple Music. I said Apple Music last week too. Yeah. Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts, and Google Play Music and all the other shit that you can listen to podcasts on. Get in tune with Some Dude.
Yeah, I think this is going to be an engaging episode.
It is. And
it is. Before we start, I want to go ahead and put out this disclaimer, right? These are not hot takes to me. The shit that I throw out there, these are not hot takes. This is critical thinking, people. I think critical thinking skills suck nowadays. I even put it on Facebook last night about critical thinking. I think people don't know how to do it no more. I'll read exactly what I put so people can understand where I'm coming from today and every other day. It's not a lot of critical thinking anymore.
That's a hot take.
No, this is not a hot take.
People don't know how to critical think.
They don't.
That's a hot take.
No, it's not. That's not. People don't know how to critical think. Mm-hmm. People don't know how to do that. They don't even piece together details or read between the lines anymore. People got their narrative. They find what fits for them and they run with it. And if you don't agree with it, get ready for the name calling. My favorite is a sellout. Oh,
hey, you was on fire yesterday, boy.
Yeah, I was, and I'm gonna continue to be on fire.
Matter of fact, the whole weekend you've been on fire, boy. Yeah. The whole weekend on social media. If y'all ain't friends with Bang on Facebook, y'all missing out.
And again, people don't know how to critical think. And I know somebody's like, whatever. I know how to critical think, so I'm gonna give you the definition of critical thinking. The objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. Some key words there, Mike.
We keep that dictionary on deck, baby.
Keep it on deck. Key words here. Objective analysis and evaluation in order to form a judgment. Objective, which means a lot of times, really 95% of the time, I have no dog in the fight. It's something that I'll talk about, discuss, but I have no dog in the fight because I'm not there. So I need to read between the lines. I need to look at both sides in order to make a judgment. And I'm going to use the perfect example, which is where I'm going, is Colin Kaepernick shit. For those who was under a rock, Thursday, the NFL announced that they were putting together basically a pro day. For those who don't know what a pro day is, basically when during draft time, the NFL will come to a college and the seniors and people who have declared for the NFL draft. So in this case, it would be redshirt sophomores, juniors, and seniors because freshmen can't. You have to be 3 years out of school in order to before you declare for the NFL draft. So redshirt sophomore, you're 3 years out. Junior, seniors, whatever. But they would basically come to your school and they would see you work out. Basically, they will get your measurements. They see you do some plays. Normally, it is put together by the school. So, the coaches is really running your pro day. They're giving you the plays to run. They're seeing how fast you could throw, how fast you could run, how you could do, your 2 steps, 3 steps, long jumps, all that shit, right? So, the NFL put together a pro day, basically, for Colin Kaepernick. Now,
has this ever happened in NFL history?
No. To my knowledge,
I've never seen anything like this before.
Which... Number one, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Now, I've seen it after the NFL draft, they have the supplemental draft. And the supplemental draft is people who didn't get into the NFL draft. Maybe they decide to stay, but now they like, I'm going to leave. And then, you get the opportunity to do the supplemental draft. Now, when you do the supplemental draft, if a team drafts you, they lose that draft pick from the next year. So say, for instance, Chris Carter. Chris Carter was drafted in the supplemental draft by the Philadelphia Eagles. So when they drafted him, whatever round that they picked him in, they lose that pick the next year. So if they picked him in the first round, they ain't got no first round pick next year. Second round, they ain't got that. Third round, they ain't got that. There's been a lot of notable picks in the supplemental draft. Some have worked out. Some haven't worked out. Chris Carter's one of them. He's a Hall of Famer now.
Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact.
Unemployed Hall of Famer.
Yeah, unemployed Hall of Famer too. He's gonna get a job, man. He got a good reason if what I'm reading is right. But but I will say this: I was taken aback at the NFL choosing Saturday to do this pro day. But at the same time, I wasn't taken aback because of some of the reasons why other people, like coaches, is not going to leave. Coaches or assistant coaches are not going to leave their team on a Tuesday or a Saturday.
So what would be the best day to do something like that? There's no best day, right? That's what I was about to say.
I mean, the closest to a best day is a Monday, but because if you win, you're off. More than likely. But normally Monday is a off day, but still that's an off day for the players, not an off day for the coaches. Coaches work 7 days a week, ladies and gentlemen. So there was no coach that was going to be there on a Saturday or a Tuesday. It's just Tuesday was the closest thing you would get. It was always going to be GMs and scouts, because during this time of the year, this is the scouts' job. I guarantee that there were scouts at a game in Atlanta or near Georgia that was like, all right, I'm going to go to this pro day, see what's popping. Or the general manager was like, yo, we need you there. So when like Bill Belichick was not going to be in Atlanta on a Saturday unless he's playing Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. But
and still, nonetheless, I don't even think Bill Belichick would take time to go to a pro day in Atlanta if they playing the Falcons to see Colin Kaepernick. Bingo. Because he got other shit.
Critical thinking. But a lot of people don't know these things. They get, but we're gonna keep it going. So right, so that's one thing. But I'm going to tell you the finesse of the year. It's Colin Kaepernick, ladies and gentlemen. This was the finesse of the year. All right. So the NFL's plan was to do this pro day. They wanted him to sign an extra waiver. Not gonna lie to you, I see no reason for that, because we don't need you trying to sue us again, B. If that was in there, now we haven't seen the disclaimer. We don't know, and this is one of those niggas ain't see the cover your ass emails, Mike. We both work. We know sometimes your manager or somebody be like, yo, did you send the email? Just, man, make sure you cover your ass. Like, so we ain't see the cover your ass emails, ladies and gentlemen. So there's only so much we could think about. Well, we could figure out here. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't blame the NFL if they tried to put that clause in there. Why? Because shit, we trying to show that we didn't have to do this, nigga. Let's be clear. This is week 11, right? We ain't have to do this shit. Ain't nobody, only y'all niggas, and I'm not saying everybody, but y'all niggas know who y'all are. Only y'all niggas, only some dudes was really still on the Colin Kaepernick shit. He had the case, him and Eric Reed, the grievance, the league, and Eric Reed and Colin Kaepernick settled. Rumors suggest that they settled between $1 to $10 million. I'm thinking is more closer to the $10 million, but it don't matter. I'm not trying to count nobody's pockets. But you filed a grievance. You got money. I'm not saying that nothing should happen still. All I'm saying is you got your back pay more than likely. You can't. So we gonna sue again? talking about, yo, so y'all still keeping me out. Nah, it's not going to happen. And it's a gag order, so neither the league or Colin Kaepernick can talk about the shit.
Okay.
So really, this shit was dead. So the NFL...
Explain. What it was dead.
It was dead because the grievance happened. And they can't talk, neither the league or Colin Kaepernick can talk about that case. Right. So the league didn't have to do this shit. They didn't have to set up a pro day. Why? Because if you set up this pro day, you're putting yourself out there again. It makes no sense. And if that was their thinking, the NFL is not only the dumbest sports league in the world, they the dumbest bunch of niggas in the world. That's literally like if your wife gives you an out and you get the out, she says she don't want you to talk about the out, but then 3 days later, you start talking about the out.
So you saying that the NFL looking funny in the light?
No, what I'm saying is they didn't have to do that shit.
Exactly, they didn't have to do it, but they did it anyway.
But
which
they
makes
did it
them
anyway.
Look,
so they
but that makes them. So that's making them look more like Colin Kaepernick was proving his point.
No. I'm not saying none of that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that I'm gonna tell you what I believe. Okay. What I believe is that 2 or 3 teams was kicking it around, and I'm gonna tell you, I believe one of those teams is the New York Jets. I believe one of those teams is the New York Jets, because after Sam Darnold, they have shit, my nigga. They have nothing. And that proved this case when Sam Darnold got hurt. He didn't get hurt. He got mono, so he kissed the bitch and got sick. Kissed the wrong bitch, he got sick. And he had mono, and he was out for like 5 weeks. And they had Luke Falk as their backup quarterback. And they looked like shit. So I believe that one of those teams is the New York Jets. Also, Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, Nessa, works at Hot 97. So
that would have worked out.
So he always is close. And I believe, I've always been on record as saying that he wanted to be a member of the New York Jets. I said that on this show. When all of this shit went down, it's just that the owner, Woody Johnson, is a staunch Trump supporter. And when Trump started talking this shit, you had to move away. But I believe it's his son now that's running the team, while Woody is is overseas, like the ambassador of some country. I forgot. So his son is running the team, and his son is like, hey, man, I'm with it if y'all with it. But it's still like, So I think about 2 to 3 teams was kicking around. They was kicking around the joint like, man, should we sign them? So I believe this is what the NFL tried to do. They tried to hide the needle in the haystack to save those 3 teams. Because if you were to bring Colin Kaepernick into to basically on a Tuesday to have him try out, and you don't sign him, you're out there looking like, oh man, so y'all just brought him up in there. Y'all ain't even bring him up in there to really want to try to sign him. You know, he could have came up in there, and then they'd be like, nah, we just gonna go in another direction. He's white hot, ladies and gentlemen. So I get why that didn't happen, but it's still some bitch shit. You can understand bitch shit and still say there's bitch shit, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna be the running theme here. So, I believe to hide those 3 teams, they tried to hide the needle in a haystack, invite teams to come see Colin Kaepernick. They put all this shit together. They had Hugh Jackson and a couple other people to come down. They was going to pick the wide receivers. They do this in pro days a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Like, when you go to the NFL Combine, the NFL sets that up, and there's NFL coaches running that Combine. So, essentially, it was basically that. Now, here's where the NFL fucked up. By setting this shit up in the fucking first place. If this shit was happening, they should have told those 2 to 3 teams, stop being a bitch and bring them in. But no, they wanted to hide a needle in a haystack. So they don't even confer with Colin Kaepernick about this shit. Now, this is the other part where they fucked up. They think there's no one player bigger than the NFL.
let me ask you a question. Is this something that Colin Kaepernick requested beforehand?
He didn't.
So the NFL just out of the blue said, "All right, fuck it, Joe. We gonna do a pro day for Colin Kaepernick," and it didn't even confirm the shit with him yet. Mm-hmm. This shit was news to him.
This shit was news to him. They hit him up like, "Yo, we gonna do this." Now Colin Kaepernick, he's gonna say okay. Now I don't blame Colin Kaepernick. I'm gonna say okay too. But here's where the finesse goes in.
Go ahead.
The NFL is putting all of these things together. They putting everybody in place. This is the coach. There's going to be running it. We're going to pick your wide receivers. We got you. We going to do this at the Atlanta Falcons Training Center in Flowery Branch, Georgia. We got you. No media, though. Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick wasn't for that.
But here's the thing. Colin Kaepernick hasn't spoken to the media. So I truthfully believe that the NFL was like, he don't really talk to the media in the first place. He just sends shit out. Pre-produce shit. No media. So now Colin's like, nah, I want the media here because I don't trust y'all niggas. See, they didn't think about the non-trust factor. I don't trust y'all niggas, so I want the media there. Well, we'll think about that. But here's the finesse. If all of these people are coming, why do I need you? And I don't think the NFL thought about that. Here's the other thing. If the niggas don't come, if all of the 32 teams don't come, it turned out to be 25 was guaranteed to be there. I'm going to find the needle in the haystack because the niggas that want to see me are going to go where I'm going. So, at the last minute, Colin them pull a switcheroo. Nigga, we going to be at this high school an hour away, slide through. Now, here's the other thing. Media insecurity at that high school was a little bit too good for me on some last minute shit.
What you mean?
What you think I mean? Security was great. There wasn't no bullshit going on. Security was on point. Media was there. I believe that they had this shit set up. As soon as the NFL was like, this is what we want, Colin said, nah, we not going to tell them until the last minute. We going to go to this high school and do it. We going to tell everybody at this particular time, and the people that want to come to see me are going to come. Because all 32 teams don't need to see Colin Kaepernick, ladies and gentlemen. Only one. And that's the team who's thinking about signing him. The New England Patriots don't need to be there. Why? Why? The Indianapolis Colts don't need to be there. Why? There's a handful of teams that need to be there. The Reds.
Indianapolis Colts might need to be there.
Nah, they don't need to be there. Jacoby Brissett is doing just fine, my nigga.
I mean, he was hurt.
Yeah, but he's back. He's back today. If he was out, because I'm gonna talk about that part too. Let me slow down.
No, go ahead. Let me go. I'm gonna let you continue. Finish.
But I'm glad that you said that. I'm gonna bring that back up though. But there's only certain teams that need to be there, and those are teams that have questions about the quarterback position. Hey, hate to say it, even my Bears. Good opportunity for be there. You know, the Redskins, who were there, the Jets, who was there, a couple other teams. They need to be there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Were these teams did they make it to the high school or they were like,
these are teams that made it to the high school. I believe the Buccaneers end up making it too. The Kansas City Chiefs made it. They don't need them, but they made it. You're gonna be some teams that really like but the Philadelphia Eagles, but we could show up, But teams like the Buccaneers, the Tennessee Titans, who Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston are both free agents. So we have to think about that. Like if you
wait, Jameis Winston's a free agent.
Yeah.
Next season.
Yeah.
I thought he signed an extension.
No. No. Him
Okay,
and
go
Marcus Mariota are both unrestricted free agents next season.
Mariota's done in Tennessee.
And he's done it right. He's done in Tennessee. So a team like the Titans need to be there. Because that nigga ain't coming back. And that nigga, and Mariota's probably going to be with the Bears. Hey,
We'll talk about that later.
We talk about that later. But what I'm saying is there's teams that needed to be there that could kick around the Bobo a little bit, sign my man to a 2-year contract, have him in a camp. Because Colin Kaepernick needs to be in the camp. I'm sorry, people. He ain't Superman. That motherfucker can't start today.
And I need to see him with the pads on, too. Like, you need to see pads and helmet. I need to see that as well.
So let's go that part, right? Colin Kaepernick looked good in shorts and tank tops. Just like a lot of quarterbacks at pro days and the combine look like. They look great. If you look bad in shorts and a tank top, you don't belong. And he looked good. At the beginning, it was a little shaky, especially with the long ball. But he hit a 50-yarder that was so crisp and nice for the last pass. His rollout game was on point. He still has a strong arm. Colin Kaepernick, as I said on this show, can be a backup quarterback in this league or a fringe starter, a bridge. There's no doubt in that. And all he had to show to the handful of teams that was really serious about kicking it around is to show that he is still him. And I think he did that. And if I'm looking at a team, especially like the Tennessee Titans, I'm strongly looking at Colin Kaepernick.
So this benefited Kaepernick.
I think what's going on in the media right now, and for all of you niggas on social media, you're doing too much. Because either way it go, I think it worked itself out. Colin Kaepernick wanted to work himself out in front of people who were serious in seeing him. If you was not serious, you're not driving an hour after this nigga said, after they said it's going to happen at 3 o'clock. You're not driving an hour just to see this nigga. Unless your owner and GM said, go see this nigga. So he was put in front of the people who are legitimately serious. I believe they said the Eagles vice president of player operations was there. So he might have been the highest senior official there. But the niggas who wanted to see him, they saw him. Okay. All 32 people ain't need to be there. This ain't the fucking Bachelor. I don't need 50
Do you agree with what Stephen A. Smith said? Did you see what Stephen A. Smith posted? Did you see? I'm talking about the first video he posted up. The first one you saw. Did you see what he posted up this morning?
No, I didn't see what he said this morning. What did he say this morning?
He clowned on Eric Reed, B.
Oh, I saw the tweets. Oh, I'm gonna clown on Eric Reed in a second. I'm gonna clown on Eric Reed in a second, fam. Like, cause Eric Reed is that best friend. Eric Reed is the friend I would love to have to a point. I want my niggas to ride for me like he rides for Colin Kaepernick. But nigga, I ain't got no job, but you do.
That shit though. That's the main part.
That's the main part. Nigga,
that's the main part.
Nigga, if we like this, then don't take the job, my nigga. And you starting. You starting, my nigga, and you getting paid good money. Shut up. I would tell Eric Reed, if I was Colin Kaepernick, I would tell Eric Reed to shut the fuck up, fam. Cause you got the job. You not making me look good. Cause you got the job. I don't. We prove that this shit is collusion without saying it's collusion. But you got a job, my nigga. You supposed to be, and you still talking shit. Nigga, help me get a job.
He's still throwing uppercuts at the NFL.
Yeah, he's still throwing up NFL.
That part is so funny to me.
I'm gonna throw an uppercut at Radio 1 and I get paid by these niggas.
That is hilarious.
Fuck these niggas, but I'm not gonna stop that paycheck though. Nah, man, stop that shit. Stop that shit. I mean, look, you know what I want to know from Eric Reed? This is all I want to know from Eric Reed, fam. I want to know if he talked to Ron Rivera and the GM of the Carolina Panthers, and when Cam Newton went down, did that nigga say to them, hey, man, y'all need to sign Colin Kaepernick. Well, I'm
or
not
at least
playing.
look at him.
Right,
Oh yeah,
I'm not playing. I'm boycotting.
He ain't gonna do that.
He ain't gonna do that
He ain't
shit.
gonna do that.
He ain't gonna do that shit. Cause Colin gonna be like,
That's-
don't fuck up your money, but don't fuck up mine. I don't need. Let the press do that shit, cause they gonna do that shit regardless. But that shit he did with Malcolm Jenkins, I think it was last year. Whole shit. The Jay-Z shit. Whole shit. Anytime I'm not a fan of niggas calling people coons and sellouts and all of that shit. Cause that proves to me that niggas can't critically think. You gotta resort to calling a nigga names. Because you ain't got shit to say. But fuck Eric Reed, cause he got a job. That nigga's getting paid millions of dollars to do what Colin Kaepernick can't. Because it's clear that the league was on bullshit.
Yeah.
But that nigga got to work out in front of the teams that was really looking to look at you, because they wouldn't have drove an hour out of their way after, oh man, we supposed to be here to go see this nigga. And Colin Kaepernick was very right and on point to say what he said. Hey man, tell your owners to stop being scared. He's right. Because again, I think it was a handful of teams that spurned on this whole 32 team workout. Niggas stop being bitches. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL and Colin Kaepernick can be right and wrong. It don't have to be just one nigga right and one nigga wrong. The NFL didn't have to do this shit. This shit was really dead. These niggas ain't had to do this shit. Colin could have kept putting up his videos 555 days since I played in that game. He could have been doing that shit. And niggas could have been like, he could still be in the league, but this nigga not going to play in Canada. We could have still had that conversation. But, Mike, look at the NFL quarterback structure right now. Matter of fact, look at the MVP structure. If you look at the top 3 candidates for MVP, it's 2 black quarterbacks and a white running back. Nigga, this is the league flipped.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, MVP, and Christian McCaffrey. All of them MVP candidates. Nigga.
And if Houston was actually a better team, you would always throw Deshaun Watson in there too.
And Pat Mahomes is third and
Pat
is
Mahomes.
4th and 5th. Them niggas black. And the running back is white. I ain't never seen that in my lifetime.
Yep.
All these black quarterbacks and the white running back is the MVP candidates. So it's not a racial thing. It's I don't know if I want to bring this nigga in my locker room thing because I don't like what he stand for thing. Or I don't want the backup quarterback to be up in here. I don't want all of the cameras to be on my backup quarterback. That's like if you at your job making all this money, getting all the commission, but the nigga who don't do shit gets the promotion. You're gonna be upset.
Yeah.
So I understand the skepticism from Colin Kaepernick's side. I understand that. But I also understand the league and what they tried to do. It was still bitch shit, but I understand it. But at the end of the day, he got to work out in front of the teams that wanted to see him. That's what he wanted. And that's what he achieved when he went to that high school. So all this shit about what the NFL tried to do, they want to make him look bad. Why? 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 Because when free agency comes, let's be real, he's not the top quarterback available. Why you gonna make a nigga that's probably the 10th quarterback available look bad? Why? There's no point in that. There's literally no point in that. And quite honestly, Colin Kaepernick could have did that damn shit yesterday. He could have did it. I mean, yeah, he could have with the NFL. He could have did it. He could have. Or what he could have did is instead of saying at the last minute what he was going to do, he could have did that shit before. He could have just said, nah, I'm not doing it like this, fam. If we gonna do it, let's work together in doing this. That's not working together. That's why I said on Facebook that if it's a circus, he's a part of it. He's a willing part of it. But his willingness to be a part of it was a ruse all along. Because all he wanted was to switch shit, take control, and which he did. And he got what he wanted. So I don't know why the fuck everybody is bitching and, oh, man, and Jim Trotter said some real shit. Unpopular take. There's fault on both sides. The NFL should have announced this workout, shouldn't have, but what he should have never, let me read it right. The NFL should have never announced this workout until all of the details was final and agreed to. Yep.
Yeah.
And Colin has every right to accept that, Colin has to accept that he can't call every shot. That's what Colin Kaepernick's trying to do. He's trying to control
the narrative.
You can't control the narrative all the fucking time, my G. You can't. Like, and right or wrong, the NFL will always be bigger than one player. They are bigger than Colin Kaepernick, nigga. Colin Kaepernick is 32, right? So let's just say, for instance, he got 5 years left. After 5 years, we really ain't got to talk about this shit no more. Or if he gets signed and he stinks up the joint, niggas ain't all niggas. What niggas gonna say then? Well, he was gone for 5 years. What do you expect? Which is another reason why the NFL ain't have to do this shit. Oh, he was gone for 3 years. He didn't play for 3 years. What did you expect? Because like you said, I want to see him in pads. Yeah. I want to see him with pressure in his face. I want to see all of that shit. I'm glad to see what I saw in pads, though. In shorts, though. I think that was dope. Like I said, he was shaky in the beginning, but he proved to me just from that case, like, hey, man, he better than some of these backup quarterbacks, and he needs to be a backup quarterback, and he'd be a fringe. I think he can start. I'm not saying he can start on Tennessee today, because, again, you got to be in a program. This ain't street ball, ladies and gentlemen. Niggas can't just say, all right, man, you go long. You go 10 yards, then cross to your right. You go 5 yards and slant. Like, that's not the NFL, ladies and gentlemen. But I also do believe that the NFL I thought the NFL called this bluff, and he called theirs back. But again, he worked out in front of the teams that wanted to see him. And if they don't sign him, you really know who the bitches are. Or at least don't bring them in. That's who you know who the bitches are. Because if you drove all the way over there, he clearly looked like he can play in the NFL or at least try out for your team. He looked like he can at least go to to a tryout on a Tuesday. He looked like that yesterday. So now,
I caught the back end. How long was the stream? Because I caught like the back end.
The stream was about like 40-50 minutes. But the workout, but the workout was, about, I think it was like 30 minutes. It was like 30. He threw like 40. It was like 30, 40 minutes. Okay. Got his passes off and everything.
Boy, AB said he wanted to get out.
Shut the fuck up, AB.
He said he wanted to play catch.
These were the teams that was there. So these are the bitches, ladies and gentlemen. These are the bitches. Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, the New York Jets, Washington Redskins, San Francisco 49ers, Detroit Lions, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, out of those 8 teams right there, I'm going to tell you the 3 teams that should not hesitate to bring this motherfucker in on Tuesday. Should not even fuck around. The Jets, the Titans, and the Lions. Now, I'm going to tell you why. The Jets do not have a fucking quarterback after Sam Darnold. They don't. That proved themselves when he kissed the bitch and got mono. They have nothing. So if he get hurt, kiss a hole, he fucked. The team is fucked. Tennessee Titans. What y'all gonna do?
Hey, the Cowboys, let me cut you off. The Cowboys should think about it too, because the Cowboys is my team and I don't even know who our backup quarterback is. But proceed.
Yeah, but Dak doesn't have a history of getting hurt.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. That means nothing at all.
No, I agree with you. What I'm saying is I'm not looking at teams that have a quarterback with a history of being hurt. Even though you could get hurt at any time and lose your starter. Yep. I'm not looking at those teams. I'm looking at those teams that really have a fucking issue at quarterback.
Well, yeah, the issue. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then narrowing it down to the teams who actually showed up to the high school.
Yeah.
Jets got an issue if that man get hurt. Now, they got an issue if he get hurt. Because at least you got Zeke.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. At least you got
right,
Amari
right.
Cooper.
Like, yeah, but who gonna throw it to Amari? I'm dead ass, man. I do not. Yeah, but go ahead.
You. I'm just saying, at least you got them though.
You do.
The Jets got Le'Veon Bell, who ain't really looked good.
I think it's the system he been in, but it could be.
I agree with you too, but I'm just saying he ain't look good. The Tennessee Titans are a major question mark at quarterback next year. Are you gonna really get arranged to Ryan Tannehill? Are you gonna keep Marcus Mariota? Are you gonna draft somebody? Hey, Tua's fucked, ladies and gentlemen. So let's bring Tua. So slide up. So slide up. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Slide them up. But there's two. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is the top. I don't think he's a first round quarterback. So you got two. And who the Bengals need a quarterback. And they haven't won a game yet. Miami, iffy if they believe in Josh Rosen, but they got one there. But they've been, hey, there you go. Tennessee, you ain't going to be there to get a first-round quarterback.
Yeah.
So are you going to take a chance at Jalen Hurts in the second round? But if you do, you need a bridge quarterback. So is that bridge quarterback Ryan Tannehill, or is it Colin Kaepernick? Who, in this case, will probably be a similar quarterback as Jalen Hurts. Actually, both of those quarterbacks are. And the Detroit Lions. Because Matt Stafford back is fucked up. He got some broken bones in this shit. Jeff Driscoll ain't going to look like that all the motherfucking time, ladies and gentlemen. So you can bring him in too. Kansas City, they okay with Matt Moore. They okay in that situation. Philadelphia Eagles, they okay with Carson Wentz. San Francisco 49ers, they not bringing him back. They're friends of the family at this point. And the Redskins is interesting too because you got Dwayne Haskins there. And you got Colt McCoy and Chase Keenum. I don't really think they need to, but they're interesting. So out of those 8 teams that went, if I'm the Jets, I'm getting them. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm getting them. If I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm thinking about it. Those are the 3 teams. But that's critical thinking, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's critical thinking. That's what that is. Like I'm not going to get emotionally invested in this nigga because as I said though, and I'm going to continue saying it, it's better to be the martyr than the backup quarterback. Because if he gets signed, right? Let's say he don't get signed this like right now. It's week 11. Season's fucking 7 weeks over. Almost is over in 6 weeks. But let's go next season. If he gets signed and he's a backup, fuck. Let's say for instance Kansas City signed him. He's not playing. He's not. He's just going to be up in there in that red and yellow jersey. Smacking asses. Good game, my nigga. He's not playing, ladies and gentlemen. And if a motherfucker say, and you know what's going to happen, motherfucker say, oh, man, they need to put Colin Kaepernick, you know what I'm saying, in the game instead of Pat Mahomes.
Who would say that?
Some dumb motherfucker. And you know that will happen? If he gets signed by the Kansas City Chiefs or he gets signed by the Philadelphia Eagles, he ain't playing. He's not. So is it better for him to be a backup quarterback or is it better for him to be a martyr? Is it better for you, ladies and gentlemen out there in the world? Are you satisfied that he's on the team or are you satisfied with him being on the team and playing? That's critical thinking. I think in Colin Kaepernick's case, he wants to be on the team, but he want to play. He wants an opportunity. He's not getting that with all of those other teams. He's getting an opportunity with possibly the Tennessee Titans. That's the best chance in 2-3 weeks. Because Ryan Tannehill ain't going to look good. He's not going to beat the fucking Kansas City Chiefs.
He been looking solid, though.
Yeah, he's not going to look solid like that for 6-7 more games. So, and let's say he's in the system for maybe 2-3 weeks. Towards the end of the season, you can see what that do. You ain't going to do that with the Jets, though, because Sam Darnold is the quarterback of the future. You're not going to do that. You really not going to do that with the Detroit Lions. Because Matt Stafford back is going to get healed. He's starting. But if he wants to be in a program, the two teams, Tennessee Titans, Jets, they was both there. I wouldn't be surprised if they was one of the teams that was like, hey, man, you know, what y'all thinking? And the reason why this shit happened in the first place. But again, man, ain't no critical thinking down here. Because all I'm seeing is the NFL. Oh, they devious. They knew what they was doing. Nigga, if they knew what the fuck they was doing, they wouldn't have called none of this shit. Colin Kaepernick knew what he was doing, though. And he did and got in front of the people that he needed to get in front of. Therefore, he won to me. And like the NFL said, he's still an unrestricted free agent, free to sign with any team. And it would not surprise me in the next 2 weeks if he signed with somebody. Which would mean all this debate these motherfuckers got going on right now would be mute. Because he got a job. Well, what happened next is why is he not playing? Why is he not playing? Why? Well, the Chiefs signed him. They need to put him in the game. They could take Pat Mahomes out of the game and put him in the game. You know, Pat Mahomes, he hurt his knee. So the shit will never end until he gets out on the team. It never end because even when he gets out there and play, if he's Huff, he Huff because he didn't play for 3 years. But y'all niggas said he could start.
He might go out there and kill,
He
though,
might.
man.
He might. But if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But that's my Colin Kaepernick shit, man. I'm critically thinking this shit. Colin Kaepernick won yesterday. And he didn't win because the NFL tried to get him. He won because he got in front of the people that really want to get in front of. The people that want to be there. And that's it.
He controlled the narrative, but he needs to know that he's not going to be able to do that all the time. Can't control the narrative all the time.
Hell no.
But he got the finesse off.
But that was the finesse of the decade, my nigga. Because I knew it. I didn't want to say shit, but I said to myself, he's not going to be at the Atlanta Falcons facility. He's going to be somewhere else. I knew it.
I hope it work out for him.
I hope it work out too. But I hope it's legit, dude. I hope I'm wrong about that martyr shit. I hope that he doesn't mind getting in the program and being the backup until shit ride off. And stop using this fucking Michael Vick shit. Michael Vick got signed by the Eagles. They put him in the fucking program. He had Andy Reid as his coach. And he took the job from Donovan McNabb when Donovan McNabb started sucking. That nigga didn't get signed by the Eagles and start the next day. That's what Colin Kaepernick got to do. Get in the program. Hey, when motherfuckers start using Michael Vick because he was in the jail for 1.5 years, 2 years. Nigga, he got in the program. And one of the better programs for a quarterback. Y'all want that nigga to go to Denver? With Vic Fangio? Y'all niggas don't even know their offensive coordinator. I want him to be in the best position for him to win. To get on the field. Fuck win. Y'all niggas don't know what the fuck y'all want. Y'all just arguing. Critically think. Why the fuck would that be the case? Why would them niggas put themselves out there? But at the same time, why would Colin Kaepernick put himself out there? But at the end of the day, he got the shit that he wanted. Shut the fuck up, everybody. Nicki Minaj, man.
All right, man, we gonna flip it, Joe. Some dude pod, man. Hey, man.
Yeah.
You got your shit off, B. You got your shit off. But let's flip it, you know. We not done yet. Yeah, you yeah. Hey man, but this been a crazy week though, man. Sports, music, anything you could possibly think of, it's been wild, man. But on social media, a lot of people get their thoughts off and shit like that, and I had came across something that caught my eye, and I agree with wholeheartedly. Speaking of Hot 97, New York and all that stuff like that, and shout out to Ebro. Ebro put up a tweet that said, "As the decade closes, can someone put together a real celebration for Nicki Minaj? She brought women in rap back. Lil Wayne gave her the bounce pass, and she took off. Now look at her." I saw that, and I felt like this was my opportunity to take on that challenge and give that woman her flowers, because I agree with that tweet wholeheartedly. I posted the tweet on my Facebook page. Got a few likes, got a few loves, got a few laughs. Bang laughed. Why you laughing, man?
I ain't laugh.
You laughed. You laughed your ass off.
Man.
I don't know if you when you posted the comment on my page under that picture. I don't know if you were laughing.
No, I laughed. No. I laughed because I know how much of a fan you are of Nicki Minaj.
And as the decade is coming to an end, people, and now we're starting to see those lists of like artists of the decade, albums of the decade. It's going to be that time to start having those debates of who impacted this decade the most, who didn't impact the decade the most, who's the most disappointing, most toughest albums, all that type of, how niggas be with the lists and shit like that. You know how it go. So I felt like this is my opportunity to give Nicki Minaj, her flowers, because we've had Nicki Minaj discussions already on Some Dude Pod. I think we had a Nicki Minaj discussion on episode 1, so if y'all want to go back and check that out. Well, yeah, we talked about Nicki Minaj, and I agree, yo. I feel like Nicki Minaj laid the blueprint out for female artists now. I think everything that all the female artists are doing now, as far as like trying to get a buzz and everything like that, I think Nicki Minaj set that up. Because back when when it was like Missy, Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, Trina, Eve, it wasn't, they couldn't, they pretty much like were given record deals. Like, yeah, they were dope in the streets. It wasn't no social media. So it's like, all right, cool. They hot in the streets and everything like that. Cool. We're going to sign you to a record deal. We're going to sign you to a record deal. Eve signed the Rough Riders. We already know Big signed Kim. You know what I'm saying? Foxy Brown, Jay put her on and everything like that. And then Missy under Timbo and everything. So it's like, at this point, when Nicki got on, Nicki had the streets buzzing, mixtape wise. At the time when Nicki was on, we started to get popping. We heard her in the streets, mixtapes. So how did Cardi B get on? Cardi B went from reality superstar, stripper, to reality TV show, to mixtapes. Went crazy on the mixtapes. Dropped back-to-back mixtapes. And then Bodak Yellow dropped. But Bodak Yellow dropped, it was on. So it's like you need that. It's like nowadays you gotta grind. You gotta put out the work for social media to see it, and then you need that one record that's gonna make it pop. Boom, Bodak Yellow, Cardi B. It's takeoff time for her now.
Before you go further, remember Eve was signed to Interscope before she was signed to Rough Riders.
Okay. Yep, you're right. You are absolutely correct.
I just want to throw that out.
You're right. Fun fact. So I think Nicki Minaj did the same thing. Like when Nicki Minaj first came out, she flooded the streets with videos. Like the first time I seen Nicki Minaj, like on social media, was she was doing a video when she was imitating the Warning video, Biggie's Warning. That's the first time, like, she pretty much emulating the whole record. It's a freestyle record. She got the video structured out and everything like that. I'm like, damn, this shit crazy. That's dope. And I'm thinking, like, okay, this is the girl that Lil Wayne's been talking about. She signed and everything like that. Because the first time I actually heard Nicki rap was on the Drought 3. And her and Wayne did the Can't Stop, Won't Stop beat. And Nicki Minaj was on there rapping, soft voice chick. Like, yeah, okay, this is dope. So I go look on social media and I'm looking up Nicki Minaj. All right, cool. Then she drops mixtapes. Well, Playtime is Over, Beam Me Up, Scotty, and then she dropped it. I think the couple freestyles that actually like got her noticed was the Itty Bitty Piggy, the one where she was rapping over. What the fuck? What song was that, bang? Damn it!
I don't know. I don't listen to Nicki Minaj, bro.
Why you don't listen to Nicki? But anyway, go ahead. But yeah,
we talked about it.
Yeah. And then she had the record with Wayne, I Get Crazy. That's the one that took off on the radio. So, boom. Now we have Nicki Minaj. 2008, 2009. Now, now she buzzing in the street. She doing features. Ludacris. My Chick Bad. That's one of the verses. That's one of the verses you could say, like, whoa. Alright. Nicki for real. And this is all before she even drops an album. No album yet. Then Kanye starts My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This is about 09, going into 2010. This is when the decade starts. Cool. Kanye starts doing the Good Friday series. Dropping joints every Friday. Then we get this crazy record with Jay, Ross, Ye, Nicki on it. Nicki get on here, flame everybody. Do you disagree or agree, Bang?
I agree. I agree. I give you that.
I want to make sure you following me so far.
Yeah, I'm following you, and I agree with you on that.
All right, cool.
That's when I was like, oh shit, she can rap.
This is the moment where we was like, damn, she can really fucking rap. All right, cool. Then she does. Then J and M bring her to New York to do the concerts, they did at Yankee Stadium. She go out there, she perform Monster with them too. So now we know Nicki Minaj is here. So what can Nicki Minaj do now? Nicki Minaj, she drops her first album, Pink Friday. She got hit records, Super Bass. She got Moment for Life with Drake. Your Love. At this point now she's become a mega superstar. This is kind of like the same shit that Cardi just did. Cardi just did the same exact thing. Created the buzz for herself, mixtape wise. Dropped a crazy record. Got the buzz that she needed. Come back, win Grammy for the rap album of the year. This is Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj has never won a Grammy, but she's been nominated for a Grammy. But Nicki Minaj laid this foundation. Megan Thee Stallion, she's doing the same exact thing. How do we know who Megan Thee Stallion was? So how did we get a whiff of Megan Thee Stallion? Social media. She dropped that one record, the Big Old Freak joint, then she dropped another crazy mixtape right after that, the Fever joint. That's the one to get her the buzz. Then she got another radio record, Banger, Baby, taking off, Then she got her own movement going. Nicki Minaj created her own movement with the Barbs and everything like that. Megan, she got what? Everybody driving the boat. She got the Hot Girls. Everything like that. Hot Girl Summer. So, this is kind of like, this is what you do when you're trying to create that buzz. But I feel like Nicki Minaj laid this foundation for women. And then you still have other female hip hop artists, not ones that's hot, but they like bubbling under the radar, Dreezy. You got, Cash Doll, all these women, they trying to emulate the same formula that Nicki did. Get on, drop mixtapes, try to get that one record, that buzz, talk that sexy shit. I don't think Nicki was the one. I think Cardi is the one that kind of like made it cool again to get like real sexy, like talk that nasty shit, talk that freak shit on songs. Because Nicki really didn't do that. She kind of like played it safe, classier and everything like that. That's how I see it. Bang, are you following me? Bang don't like female. Bang don't fuck with female rappers like that.
I'm listening. I just sit there and talk for about 40 minutes. I'm listening.
I just want to make sure we on the same page. I'm trying to figure out
Nicki Minaj right now.
Interesting. All right, cool. So now, but this is my thing. Nicki Minaj, now once Nicki Minaj dropped the solo album, her first solo album, it's takeoff time from there. She without this label, she's one of the hottest labels in the game right now, Young Money and everything like that. So, cool. Nicki here. Nicki is, now Nicki's on, and then I think Super Bass is the one record that's so like, wow, Nicki could do pop records. Now everybody's running to Nicki for the pop records too. Nicki done turned pop. Nicki is a hip hop artist. Now she didn't just went all the way global with the shit. Cardi B has done the same exact thing. Cardi B has done joints with Maroon 5, everything like that. Nicki Minaj has laid that foundation where you could be street, talk that street shit, but now you could go get that pop money too, because they gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still being yourself. Nicki Minaj has done that. Nicki Minaj has topped every possible chart you can think of. It's record-wise, record sales. This is the exact same thing, man. This is what Cardi B is doing. I don't want to use. I kind of want to. I have to use Cardi B. I have to use
Cardi B a lot while trying to give Nicki Minaj her flowers.
I'm saying it like it's Cardi B is an example of what Nicki. I'm not saying that they like. Oh, they have to like, you know what I'm saying, bow down to Nicki and everything like that. Just Cardi is the example of exactly what Nicki Minaj did. Cardi is just continuing the trend, and I believe Megan will continue the trend as well. And then we might get another female hip hop artist to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna be the trend.
So what did Nicki Minaj trailblaze? Like, what was her trailblazing moment? Like, what is her lasting legacy? Because we're talking like it's over.
I'm not necessarily thinking that it's over. I think it's over because I think it's over for Nicki, but not because she doesn't have the ability to still make music, because Nicki has still continuously been able to stay relevant because they fucking with. Because of her music-wise relevant, she's still been able to be relevant. She's still been on records, like, people still featuring her on records, big records. Like, they still run into Nicki for the feature verse. She hasn't been able to.
What was the last feature verse that we heard other than the first notable? I mean, the last notable.
The last notable feature verse.
Other than I don't want to bring up Tekashi 6ix9ine, but.
No, I don't even think that was. I think her last notable.
What, the Megan Thee Stallion joint?
I don't even think that, because I think that record was underwhelming. But that still kept her relevant though. That's still relevant.
Did it keep her relevant because Megan was on there and Megan is hot right now?
It absolutely. And it absolutely. Megan is clearly the hottest female artist out right now.
Let's ask a different question. I'm gonna ask a different question here. Has Nicki become underrated?
I believe so. Nicki is underrated to me, and I believe she's also underrated as a fucking rapper, like an actual spitter. She's very underrated, under the radar. I don't think that she's been respected as a lyricist, but I mean that just comes with the territory of have her hype man, old boyfriend. They create the narrative that she didn't write her own bars. You know what I'm saying? So once that finds you, and then like the same thing, we question Drake. Same shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you become a target of like, all right, you looking funny in the light. That verse might have been cool, but who really wrote it? You know what I'm saying?
So what's Nicki Minaj's legacy, Mike? I want to know what's up. Like, what is Nicki Minaj's legacy? If we put Nicki Minaj in the Hall of Fame today, on her Hall of Fame bust, there will have to be three things. Other than her name, when she was popping, what would be the three things, that is on her bust?
The accolades, Joe. If you want to just look at accolades, I think this is a hot take. Nicki Minaj for the past decade, top 5, top 10 artists, any genre. If you want to
genre.
Any genre. Nicki Minaj is a top 10 artist at least.
In any genre. That's country, that's rock, that's pop, that's R&B, that's hip hop. You talk about from 2010 to 2019, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That's
hot take.
You giving her top 10?
Hot take.
Why would she be top 10?
Okay, so like you said, what are we gonna put on? What is one of the reasons? What can she leave?
I need
legacy wise.
I need
legacy wise
to hear this.
awards. Awards. If you just want to go off awards, she's been nominated. American Music Awards 9 times. She got 6. She has 6 American Music Awards, 11 BET Awards, 8 BET Hip Hop Awards, 4 Billboard Awards. She's been nominated. She's been nominated for 10 Grammys.
Okay,
she hasn't won a Grammy.
So let me ask you a question. Can Nicki Minaj be the Larry Holmes of rap? Pretty much. This could be
explained.
She didn't really have a lot to go up against as far as female rap.
And see, but that's true. Now she didn't have a lot to go up against, but when you win like other awards like American, we know like the BET Awards, where she win Best Female Hip Hop Artist and shit like that. There's no other female awards to go against. But when she wins like American Music Awards and like, you know what I'm saying, MTV Awards, those are up against other men.
And those are the pop awards, right? Okay.
Those are like, you know what I'm saying, the pop awards. Yeah, you know, when she does shit like that, those are up against.
I'm just throwing them out.
Yeah, she hasn't had a lot to go up against, but whose fault is that? When she made female hip hop artists more relevant again. We were looking for the Nicki Minaj features.
I don't see. Here's why I will disagree with you on a bit. I don't think that she made female rap relevant again. I think it was because no other female became relevant until she started to fall. Mm-hmm. What I will say is she controlled the game, the female rap game, to the point. I'm not saying that you could bring in another female. What I'm saying is that you didn't have to look for another female. Mm-hmm. I think you only had to start looking for another one as her popularity started to wane. So it was like, all right, let's go find somebody. Let's try these bitches out. Cardi, she's working. All she needs is one. Bodak Yellow takes off. Mm-hmm. But I would say to you is that you didn't have to look for another female rapper with Nicki Minaj. Because she was that damn good, in y'all opinion. Mm-hmm. That's what I would say. Mm-hmm. Which is not bad. If you that damn good to y'all, you know, it's like, all right, shit, we don't need nobody else.
And I feel like her discography is solid. It's a solid discography. Now, I can't sit here and debate her discography with you.
No, you can't. Because,
you have you listened to any type of Nicki? Have you listened to any Nicki Minaj album in full?
Yeah, the what's that one I told you? What's that one? Pink Monday? Pink Friday? Whatever.
Wait. The Pink Print? Which one did you listen to, babe?
Pink Print.
What song did it have on? Which song did it have on that you remember?
I don't remember any of them because I didn't like it.
That's fucked up.
It was not for me.
It was not for you.
No, it was not for me. I told you. I like shit that I can identify with, or if I can walk in your shoes. I can't walk in Nicki Minaj's shoes, so it's not really.
I don't think it's necessarily.
No, for you that might not be the case. For me, for you that might not be the case. For you, is I'm just trying to listen to somebody rap. No, for me, I need to be able to feel your shit. I need to be able to feel your struggle. I'm not gonna be able to feel that. I told you, Rhapsody's album was the first time I ever listened to a female rapper album, and it didn't sound like a female rap album to me. I really understood it thoroughly. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna be able to understand that shit that she rapping about, but I'm also not a nigga who just like rapping because all they rapping. Nah, because if that's the case, I should like everything that fucking come out. Mm-hmm. Nigga, Big Crit rapping, you know what I'm saying? He should be the greatest of all time. You know, nah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I would say Nicki's lasting legacy is how she controlled the game. I'm not gonna sit up here and say because of her. Like, I'm not going to say because of her there's a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, because, if it wasn't for MC Lyte, if it wasn't for Roxanne Shante, if it wasn't for shit Angie Stone, you know, and some other female rappers, it wouldn't be the Queen Latifahs and shit. And if it wasn't for Queen Latifah and MC Lyte and other women, it wouldn't be a Lil' Kim. And I think Biggie changed the game with how you looked at female rappers when it came to Lil' Kim. He gave her the correct persona of what niggas was looking for in the mid to late 90s. And then from there, you get birth Nicki Minaj. And then from Nicki Minaj, you get Cardi B. So I get it. But I think I would say her lasting legacy is how she really controlled the game. I think she controlled that shit to a T. She was really like you can call her the Larry Holmes of the female hip hop division all you want to, but shit, you still can't lose. And she didn't. I think for this decade, you can't front on that. I ain't got to listen to Nicki Minaj daily to know what she did. So yeah.
So I believe for this decade though, but like you said, she controlled the decade, and you could arguably say top 10 artists of the decade, any genre.
I wouldn't say she's top 10 of the decade. No, hell no. Not of any genre, of any and every genre. Hell no.
If it's not any genre, it's definitely hip hop. Definitely hip hop.
Definitely hip hop. I have to give a top 10 in that. But shit, that's it. Like hell no. Like that now. That shit now. That right there would be going just a little too far.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Joe, I love Nicki. I think she's done. I think she's done because the media got her done.
Yeah.
Because the Cardi
no,
B thing really.
No. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Cardi.
I think she's done because she didn't know how to react to it.
Exactly. See,
that's her. That's not Cardi. That's her. And
it's not Cardi's fault. What I'm saying is it's what they put in play.
No,
they put them against each other.
Hell, no, Mike, I'm not gonna let you say that because they put Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown against each other for years. They knew how to coexist. See, the issue is with Nicki Minaj that people have to understand is that she didn't know how to coexist. She didn't know how to react when she wasn't going to be the only woman at the top. That's her. That's her problem. That's not a Cardi and media problem. Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown coexisted for years. These motherfuckers fuck around and accidentally wore the same shit in certain spots. You know what I'm saying? Those different magazine covers and shit. But you got Illmatic Hardcore, and niggas was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? You got this and you got that. They learned how to coexist. Did they have their beefs and shit? Yeah, Hot 97 in front of the fucking in front of Hot 97 is a perfect example. I don't think I don't think that Nicki Minaj learned how to coexist. But now there's more female rappers than it's been that's popping since the I would say the Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, Queen Pen, Eve days. Like Queen Pen I would never put as a top 10 rapper, you know what I'm saying? But A Party Ain't a Party was cracking.
Fire.
Yeah, so hey. No, so I think that's her issue. I think that's Nicki's issue, and I also think that's part of her legacy too. If you got to put the good, you got to put the other shit. Like
you definitely got to put the bad. You got to definitely put the bad because she does not, like you said, Bang. She hasn't been able to handle not being the only one. I guess she was so used to being that only one, and she used that to her advantage, even in her raps. Like she knew she was the only one. So Cardi hitting that scene. It kind of like it made it bad, but I think she could still make dope ass music. Like her last album, I liked her last album. I liked the singles.
See, I believe. Okay, so look, I believe that she can make music that the people fuck with, but I also believe at 37 years old, that's the other issue too. She's 37, she's 38, and I said this on the show before, like. I really want to hear introspective Nicki Minaj now. But Nicki Minaj is the girl we went to high school with that ain't matured. She's still out here being a rat. I'm not saying that Nicki Minaj is a rat. I'm not saying that Onika Mirage is a rat. I'm talking about the character that Nicki Minaj is. You know, even how she acted with this whole marriage shit. Like nigga, I'm married. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You love this. How Nicki Minaj dealt her marriage and how Cardi B and Offset dealt with theirs. Cardi B and Offset shit should have been totally different for the fact that they're two mainstream characters. Like, we don't know who the fuck this nigga that Nicki Minaj is married to.
Who she taking care of?
She taking care of. But you see what we saying? We taking care of. We clearly know that, like, I ain't gonna say we clearly see, but from the outside looking in, this nigga is taking care of her. Now, this nigga could be giving Nicki Minaj everything she want and more. But the way it's being positioned on the outside looking in, is like this nigga's a captain man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I see from that. Like, this nigga could be everything she need though. But you ain't got to, my man, like the shit that happened with academics, I send my nigga to go fuck you up. Like,
so it's pretty much like anytime, any scenario Nicki Minaj puts herself in, it always turns into a shit show.
It turns into a shit show, G.
It turns into a shit show. So, yep, I definitely agree with that. Nicki has done poorly with social media.
Yeah,
poorly, especially when she sees something that she doesn't like and everything, she tuck her tail, run and everything like that. It's just, she definitely has not handled handled social media well. And then the way she reacted when it came to like, the Travis Scott, her album not being number one, and Travis Scott
got t-shirts.
He got t-shirts and bundles and all of this shit. Like, Nicki, I think Nicki's still stuck in 2010 where record sales was still a thing. Like, nobody gives a fuck about record sales anymore.
So I'm glad that you said that, because I want to transition, because I think it's important. And I'm going to use this Nicki shit for an example, because I think you did a good job. I'm not listening to any Nicki shit, but I think you did a great job. I think it's important. I'm going back, and you see how I critically thought about this shit, Mike? I wasn't disrespectful about Nicki or anything. I was very much welcoming the conversation, but this is, I think, where we're going to differ.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get mad at me. But I'm going to use niggas' words against them. Not particularly you.
Yeah.
But niggas. Some dude. So yesterday was the 20th anniversary of 2001.
Oh, shit.
It was supposed to be Chronic 2001. 2001.
I mean, is it still the same? It's still Chronic 2001. Like, cause on the album cover, there's a weed.
But it's named 2001 because of reasons.
That's a marketing thing, right?
Nah, Suge Knight.
Some Suge Knight shit? Okay.
Suge
all right,
Knight
go ahead.
But 20th anniversary of 2001. Dr. Dre's comeback album. All right. Which, just getting to the point, people say is a classic album. Now, let me say this. I believe that the album, in my opinion, is a classic album because of moment only.
Elaborate.
It was a big moment for Dr. Dre. I think he reinvented himself. It was an even bigger introduction for Eminem. I think that some of the songs on the album are amazing. Fuck You, Still DRE. I still remember when that video dropped. I was like, oh shit. Part of the reason why it's spectacular too is because this was the reunion of Dre and Snoop. And we missed that at that time. Explosive is unfuckwittable. Corrupt comes in killing. What's the difference? I think it was a good introduction for people who didn't know Exhibit. I think he shined on that. Forgot About Dre was a good introduction for people, for niggas, to really be like, oh, this Eminem nigga actually, dope for y'all. Next episode, great video. Let's Get High, I think is a good B-side. And Bitch Niggas is a good album cut. I think that's where it stops.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nah, Murder Inc., Act Right, and Bang Bang. All those are fire.
Not to me. But
go ahead, Bang.
But
proceed.
But what is one of the things when you talk about the album 1 through 22, excluding the skits, excluding the skits, which the skits to me were terrible.
Pause for porno is so fucking funny to me. That shit is hilarious at the end. But go ahead, proceed, Bang.
But what are one of the things that people say this is a reason why an album, not this particular album, but an album is a classic? Give me one of the reasons. When you look at 1 through 22, I'm asking you. This album is a classic because
a lot of people say that this album is a classic based off just the production alone.
I'm not talking about this album.
No.
I'm saying album in general. This album, insert album here is a classic because every what is what. Let me help you out here. Because every blank is what? Blank.
Hold on, I'm not. I don't know what I'm not following you.
Lord
Wait.
Jesus. Because every blank is blank. Every song is cold.
Oh,
Every
right,
song
okay.
is amazing. Mike,
Right.
is every song on this album amazing?
Absolutely not.
Pause. No fillers. This album has no filler tracks. This album has filler tracks on here?
Yeah.
Couple, ain't it?
Now, are you saying that this is the narrative that people like to use?
This is the narrative. This is the narrative that people like to throw at you when they talk about albums.
When they talk about classics.
Yes.
All right, cool. Go ahead.
Album has filler tracks on here too, right?
It does have filler on it.
Okay.
It does.
Album has filler on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The production is amazing. Top notch.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't got no complaints on that. But if this album, every song on here is not hot, there's a lot of decent songs on here. Because those Act Right, Bang Bang, Murder Inc. are not fire songs. They're decent. They're decent.
Act right hard, B.
They're decent. And I'm not talking. We're not talking about production. We're talking about entire song, my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about beats and rhymes. Because niggas love to throw out this album as a classic because the lyrics on here is this and that. Nigga, lyrically, is this
I
a
don't
dope
think lyrically.
album?
Lyrically, no, but Hitman was flowing on this shit.
Oh, so lyrically, this album is not even.
Wait, this ain't me though.
I'm not saying
Oh,
this to
okay,
you.
go ahead. Oh, okay, I got you. I follow
I'm not
you though.
saying this
I
is
follow
you,
you.
but right now, you're explaining. Now, see what I
I'm
did?
getting-
This critical thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
He's stupid.
This critical thinking, ladies and gentlemen. And this is also me using a lot of people's words against them. I believe that Chronic 2001 is a game-changing album production-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start putting the lyrics to the goddamn beat, it's decent. The songs now.
I would think some people would know that though, man.
No, they don't.
Have people said lyrically
No,
this
they
album
don't.
is good? People
No,
like
they don't.
lyrically.
No, they don't,
People said that?
because people use the term classic. See, this is when you use terms and you don't even know what the fuck they mean.
Right.
And not just using the word classic, because I believe that this album on the surface is a classic. But I'm talking about the words people use to determine why other shit ain't.
Mm-hmm.
People be using shit, but then don't give the other shit the same billing.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember what I said, and I got the track listing wrong. I had told you that they could have stopped this album at Explosive. No, you're right, because that's song number 6.
Yeah.
They could have stopped this album at Bitch Niggas. And this album, to me, would have quite possibly been the greatest rap album of all time.
Shit. So he put the filler at the. It's all filler at the end.
Filler at the end.
That's stupid. We gonna have to.
Filler at the end.
We gonna agree to disagree, but I do see where you at with it. We gonna agree because
you mean to tell me? I don't give a damn how much you like them songs.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me Murder Inc. ain't a filler track? Some
It's
LA
filler.
niggas ain't a filler track? That's a posse cut. Most posse cuts are filler tracks. Because we got to get everybody on this bitch.
So you don't like the message? You don't like that?
The message is okay until they start singing on that bitch. Is anything that I said to you wrong, and why?
I don't disagree with what you're saying. We're gonna agree to disagree on the filler tracks that I like, but some classic albums have filler.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's okay.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that filler tracks be whack. I'm just saying that
don't fit.
They don't fit. You can tell when the motherfucker's putting too much shit on some shit. Mm-hmm. And people talking about, man, I just press play on this album and let it go. No, you do not. Unless you forget the motherfucker's on. Because here's the thing. I'm not just saying this because this is what I think. I said this years ago on Closed Sessions Radio. And I put that graphic up. Me and DJ RTC was like, nah, by people's definition, this is not a classic. And here's why. And I told niggas, man, there's only a couple of niggas, only a couple, who I knew legitimately listened to this album from front to back and actually loved it. I know who them niggas are. Scott Hustle, co-owner, co-founder of Barbershop Digital. He's one of the few. So I would respect his opinion on this album. But I don't respect a lot of people's opinions on this album because this is what niggas do. Mike, I'm going to tell you what niggas do. Niggas let MTV, BET, and The Source dictate to them what's hot and what's not. They do. And that's not a lie. I fell victim to it. We see some shit and we like, oh, that motherfucker's hot because of looks.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say that this album is not a classic. Nobody wants to step out and be like, nah, every song on this motherfucker ain't cold, fam. Do they? Why? Because niggas don't want their hip-hop card getting questioned. Fuck that. It's critical thinking, my niggas. Because everything that I brought up, niggas was like, yeah, but still it's a classic. Not by your definition. Because here's where I'm going with this, Mike, because this is some shit that I didn't expect. Mike, when I say that I didn't expect this shit, I didn't. But before I go to that part, had some filler tracks on this motherfucker. I think people just missed Dr. Dre at that time.
That could be true.
Like, damn, this nigga's back. Because Detox would have been a classic, too. And that motherfucker could have been Huff. But we missed him. Also.
And it was a good story, like a good comeback story, because we know, because in between Chronic 2001 and the Chronic, and then the whole Death Row breakup and everything like that, we know Dre dropped whatever it is, some album that EP, whatever, when he launched Aftermath, and he had what was the name of that video? What was the name of that song, man?
What?
That Dre had. Oh, fuck.
Talk about Been There, Done That?
Been There, Done That, okay. Yes. Whatever it is, was that on a project or something like that?
It was that
something that he put out? Album. What was the name of that?
It was the Aftermath something.
Okay.
It was a compilation album.
But Dre even knew that wasn't it when that came out.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, Joe.
People shit on the Firm album.
Right.
He produced that.
So it's kind of like, yeah, he dropped 2 duds.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what do I do now? You know what I'm saying? So it was a great comeback story right off the fact, like you said, he found Eminem
and Snoop
put an exhibit on, and Snoop came back. So the moment, classic moment. And then on top of that, the singles were just great.
The singles amazing.
The rollout was beautiful.
The rollout is amazing.
I
don't like Forgot About Dre. I'm going to tell you this now. I don't like Forgot About Dre. I think Forgot About Dre was an Eminem song.
No, did you? Okay, so you didn't watch the documentary thing that he put out, right?
Yeah.
You didn't watch
I watched it.
You know, you watched what he said, like, about the song, right? He said that was literally supposed to be, like, for Snoop.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's an Eminem song. That's an Eminem song to me.
Yeah.
That was a introduction to others for Eminem.
Right.
Who really wasn't fucking with the album. That's what that was. Who wasn't fucking with the Slim Shady LP. Yeah.
This is like, this white boy can really do it, even because Slim Shady LP was just some wild ass shit. Like this, it was talking about it.
This was niggas like, oh shit. Without Forgot About Dre, niggas is not sucking Eminem's dick.
Pause. But yeah.
No, not pause.
Right.
Because niggas be sucking his dick.
And my favorite rapper be, and my favorite Emin Hove. Top 1 and 2. Go ahead.
Still DRE. That was the perfect reintroduction to Dre and Snoop. Fuck You, I love. What's the difference? I love. Next episode, of course. But
Did you like M verse on What's the Difference?
No. But once you get to track 13, you could have stopped right there and you have the best. And then some niggas talking about some Chronic 2001 is better than Chronic. No.
Who said this?
Chronic. See? Chronic is a game-changing hip-hop album, period. Not just production, overall. Chronic 2001 to me was an introduction to Eminem. That's what that album was. A vehicle to introduce Eminem. It was the vehicle to make Eminem the biggest star in the game because you had the perfect person to help him achieve that, which was and which is Dr. Dre.
What was this album supposed to be for Hitman?
It was supposed to be the album that established him as the Dr. Dre second.
What happened with that?
What happened with that is if you talk to a lot of niggas, especially from Pittsburgh, they would tell you that Dr. Dre basically did not produce much of that album Hitman did.
You believe it?
Too many niggas have told me that. Too many niggas have told me that. But Dr. Dre, I mean, reportedly, allegedly, Dr. Dre has also received ghost production from people like Daz Dillinger. And Scott Storch did a lot of shit. But Dre basically he got his Quincy Jones on. Was basically directing niggas. But you know, in hip hop, niggas don't like that shit. I mean, actually, like, what was that, a year and a half, 2 years ago, I brought it up. I forgot who the artist was, but I was like, damn, nigga. Shit, I see Pittsburgh really got some shit out there. And like, man, I guess it's different at the hit, man. And niggas was like, oh, so you know about that? I said, yeah, I know what I heard. And then niggas got to open in their mouth, and I was like, damn. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot to it. So again, I think I've used Impact on this show and say that Impact, it will tell you if something's a classic. So yes, 2001 Impact wise is a classic, but I also think some of them joints ain't aged well too, because I listened. I made sure that I prepared today, and the songs we talk about aged well. Like, next episode is still nice. I think Forgot About Dre, no. I think Lightspeed, no. What's the difference? I think aged well. Explosive aged fucking well.
What about the Watcher?
Explosive to me is better than it was when it came out.
I can feel that.
To me, Explosive might be the best song on this album.
I don't. That's not even.
And it's not even close.
I don't even think that's like a debate. A lot of people, I think when you come to debating the album, a lot of people would say Explosive is the best song on it.
But that's not even close at this point. Like, and Fuck You is second, a distant second, because Fuck You really sounds like Chronic. But some of these other joints, man, like I said, I've never been a fan of Forgot About Dre. Big Egos, no, not to me. Not no. After listening to it yesterday, I skipped. I was like, the fuck. I thought this was decent. Let's Get High to me is also a song on here that aged extraordinarily well to me. But some LA niggas, Bang Bang the beat is tough.
That's why I just fuck with that just off that strength alone. Like, I'm just gonna roll with that.
Yeah, the beats,
just off the production.
You can't front on the beats. The Bang Bang. I mean, I can't say Bang Bang ain't Huff because that's my nickname. And that was one of the beds that I used to come on my show Monday through Friday. But when them niggas got the rapping, what the fuck did we see in Nocturnal, fam?
Hey, I don't give a fuck what you talking about, nigga, but what you call it was cold, nigga. I don't give a fuck because I'm just drinking, smoking, straight west coasting.
That's it.
Popping ass in motion,
the hook,
nigga.
And the beat. That nigga when them niggas got the rapping, I was like, we tweaked.
And that video was fire.
Just give me the beat and play this at a stepper set.
Nocturnal had one with that, Joe. What happened with that nigga?
I think he went to jail or something. Whatever.
Damn,
But,
one.
See, that's why I'm using niggas terms against them on this album.
Yeah.
Because niggas will swear up and down that an album is a classic because every song is cold. Mm-hmm. Nigga, a classic album don't got no filler tracks. And I've said, every song ain't got to be cold on a classic album. No, it ain't got to be a classic. I'm just using niggas' words against them, Mike. It's critical thinking.
Yeah. So pretty much what you're saying is that this album is a classic, but not based off what the fuck y'all niggas is talking about.
Bingo! It's a classic off of production and impact. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's it. This shit, that's it. That's where it stops. But if niggas keep using the terms that they use to talk about some album as a classic, that's where it stops. Mm-hmm. And this album is proof that every song ain't got to be cold to be a classic. Mm-hmm. Every song ain't got to be A+. Every nigga ain't got to be in this bag every song for an album, you know, for it to be classic. Every nigga ain't got to be Kendrick Lamar. Because, you know, niggas will be like, oh, every song on the Kendrick album is cold. No, that shit. You know, everything. Nah. This is proof. Because every song ain't on this motherfucker's not cold. It's not. There's a lot of fillers. All that shit. It's not. So, but I'm going to tell you what shocked me. Mike.
Yeah.
So you saw what I put up there. You text me like, man, what's these answers, man? When I said, you know, when I put up that, I didn't think that 2001 was a classic. I knew that was going to be a trigger.
Yeah.
But when I said, you know, what album is overrated to you? Because I think that this album at the core is a very overrated album. I think 2001 is an extremely overrated album. But Mike, we gave the definition about overrated, right?
Yeah.
You know, we love our definitions here. You know,
yes,
shouts out to Mark Bird.
Yep. Hey Joe, it just started getting weird in the comments. So I was like,
I know where you're going. Have a higher opinion of something or someone of something that's then deserved. I believe that while that album is a classic album, 2001, while I think is a classic album from a production and an impact standpoint, I think that's where it stops. And I think people grossly overrate this album because of the impact that it gave us with Eminem coming through, with Snoop being back in the fold, with Dr. Dre. Then the Up in Smoke tour comes right after that. It was just a big moment in time in hip-hop that you really can't take away from. But when you listen to the album, it's but you know what? It's the moment. It's like it's like fucking a bad bitch. The pussy might not be good, but you fucked the bad bitch. And I gotta cherish that moment. That bitch bad. I fucked Halle Berry, but the pussy was but it's Halle Berry, so it's like fuck it. So that's that album to me. It's like I fucked Halle Berry, but man, her head was whacked in a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Damn, that's that album for me.
It got weird in the comments though. It got weird.
So I want you to tell me where it got weird because I think we're on the same page.
Hold on. Let me pull up the files real quick because a lot of niggas said Illmatic. I seen a lot of Illmatic in there.
There we go. Pause.
Yeah.
There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is when I use your words against you.
Yeah.
Not comparing 2001 and Illmatic. I'm not. But I was shocked, ladies and gentlemen. I was shocked and surprised. I was what? Illmatic, to a number of people, is an overrated album.
Yo, that's nutty to me. That shit nutty to me, big.
Where did the disrespect of Illmatic come from all of a sudden?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Can I say this, Bang? I want to stop right here. Let me say something, all right? Let me talk my Nas shit real quick, okay? Illmatic. Okay, this is me. This is me, and this is gonna be me. I don't know how you feel about Illmatic, Bang. Illmatic, to me, Bang, is perfect. Mm-hmm. It's perfect to me, okay? 10 songs, straight to the fucking point, Joe. Production on point. Nas just bodying everything at a young age. You know, this is Nas just Illmatic is a perfect album.
I
This
agree.
is perfect for me. Illmatic is perfect to me, Joe. Like, I don't know how, Nick. I don't know what it is. Like, niggas, I don't know what it is about Illmatic that motherfuckers love to like try to downplay this shit.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, Mike. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna tell you why. But first, I'm just have to explain how shocked I am.
Yeah.
With hearing this, I was shocked and amazed. I was almost appalled.
Yeah.
And reading this, I was like, wait a minute, what? Huh? And mind you, I am friends with two of the biggest Nas fans I know. And that's Cam Quotes and my homie D, my best friend for almost 30 years now. For basically 30 years. He, the godfather of my kids. I've talked about him on the show. I'm the godfather of his daughter, the godfather of my sons.
Yeah.
He's one of a couple people that's not blood that I would trust with my life. Him and Cam are both of those people. That's not blood. I like you, Mike, but
you can trust me with your life, man.
Okay, thank you.
We'll develop that relationship later. Go ahead.
We'll develop that relationship.
Go ahead.
But I also known these niggas over 10 years. Plus years. I know this nigga for 30. So of course I'm gonna have that. You know what I'm saying? But them two niggas are the two biggest Nas fans that I know. And I know Cam ain't been on social on Facebook like that. So I know he would have been appalled if he would have saw that shit. And I told him. But enjoyable, yes, classic, sure, but still overrated. Oh man. We got My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Oh.
And I'm not just gonna talk about Nas here as we close.
A lot of niggas like enjoyable, yes, classic, sure, but still overrated. Yikes.
So here's my thing. Like,
that's a tough one.
But see, again, we gave the definition of overrated. But I want to ask, like, I believe that is a perfect album. I've said that you can be the best and still be overrated. I believe that Michael Jordan is overrated. He's still the greatest of all time, but I think they put him too high on the pedestal because they disrespect people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, others. Like he's not untouchable. So that album is not untouchable. But when I look at that album, and I see that album was only 10 songs, 10, 11 songs. Every motherfucker on that bitch is cold and shit. It's a perfect album. So I'm not going to say that the album is overrated. But do you think people put that album too far on a pedestal? Even Nas said, you heard what Nas said a couple weeks ago. That's why it's overrated to you?
Yes, I think that's why a lot of people they say that because like you said, Nas, they've done so many celebrations for this shit, and every time Illmatic comes out, niggas want to keep celebrating. So I think niggas is just tired of hearing that this shit is a classic.
Illmatic fatigue.
That's all. They just tired of it. But at the end of the day, you can't take away from that album. That album is fucking perfect.
That album is perfect.
All right?
To me, that album is perfect.
Niggas is tired of the celebrations of it. Nas wants other albums to be celebrated. This hot take is really it's a very popular hot take that a lot of niggas say it was written. It's better than Illmatic, and I hate that hot take, but I've heard it by numerous people though.
It's not.
It's
not.
I disagree with that shit wholeheartedly.
Strongly, but this is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm gonna say, Mike. I'm going to almost wrap up the show and start next episodes. I believe truly niggas just don't know their definitions. They don't know the definition of classic, or they don't know the definition of overrated. Because and just using technical terms, if you were to say just offhand, right?
Yeah.
Where would you put Illmatic as far as greatest albums of all time? Just pick a number, any number.
Hip hop albums of all time, or just all time?
Hip hop
albums of all time. I'm putting it in the top 10.
Okay, so let's say for instance you got it 10. Ain't nobody gonna put that motherfucker 20. But if you were to put it 20, that would mean that it's an overrated album.
Yes. Yep.
if you do feel like this album is cold, but then it's overrated album. But what's the but? Is the but, man, that album cold, but it ain't all that like what people say it is. Well, what doesn't make it all that? Oh, man, it's just not all that. That's what it is to people. That's not overrated, people. That means that you can't explain your fucking thought. Mm-hmm. And that's low-key hating.
Yep.
Because you can't explain why something is what it is. Yeah. See, the reason why I want to make this last, because the shit that I said about Colin Kaepernick, the shit that I said about 2001, you see the points that I gave you? Mm-hmm. Whether you don't agree with it or not, I gave you my reasons, and I didn't just say, well, it's overrated just cuz. It's not a classic just cuz. Hell, in fact, I use people's words against them. Mm-hmm. But the only nigga that will be close to giving you a reason why is my nigga Dave. Mm-hmm. It's enjoyable, yes, classic, but it's still overrated.
I can respect that opinion. But
at the same time, that's the most you gonna get. Mm-hmm. When you get to that point when you can say that an album is not something just cuz, nigga, that mean that album is what it is. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's a situation where you like, well, that album is too short, while the album is good, the beats might be ill, it might be this. I think people overrate some of the things that he was saying because a nigga read the dictionary and said some big words and people just fell in love with it. Or I'm going to tell you the reason why this album is overrated. And I don't believe that it's overrated. I'll tell you why. Because niggas don't like Jay-Z. So I'm going to tell you my hot take today, Mike. Let me tell you my hot take.
Got you.
Niggas don't really like Nas. They're just anti-Jay-Z. That's it. That love for Nas is because of their hate for Jay-Z. Let's be real. Because who was the argument all the time?
Nas. Take over Ether.
Especially people all argue all day about who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Biggie's dead, ladies and gentlemen. So niggas disrespect that man's album because they like Jay-Z. Niggas love that album because it's the anti-Jay-Z. It is everything that Jay-Z is supposed to be against. Mm-hmm. So niggas like that album because they don't like Jay-Z. Some niggas. Not all. I can tell you two that it ain't got shit to do with. That's D and that's Cam. But I can't say that for a lot of people. You too. Mm-hmm. And you're a Jay-Z fan. You're a Jay-Z stan. But I'm telling you, man, I think people people love that album. And that album came out way before Jay-Z's debut. Mm-hmm. But people love that album. And yes, classics is not, that album wasn't supposed to be a classic when it dropped. It's supposed to go over time. And you can listen to Illmatic now and it still hits you, still sounds good, all that shit. But niggas really started loving that album when they became anti-Jay-Z. Because that's why niggas like Stillmatic. Now that, I'm be real with you. Niggas love Stillmatic because they don't want to like Blueprint.
Yep.
That's why that album's a classic to people. That album's not a classic to people not just because of One Mic or Rewind. That album is a classic because you don't like Jay-Z. And you wanted to hate Jay-Z at that time. You ain't like none. You fuck Jay-Z. Fuck Jay-Z on the Eat the Joint. That's why.
Stillmatic is the scapegoat.
It's the scapegoat.
It's the scapegoat.
It's the scapegoat. Niggas love Nas because they hate Jay-Z. It's not because of critical thinking. It's because you feel you got to put two people against each other.
Hey, that's how I feel about Cardi and Nicki too, though. I feel like a lot of people just, they don't want to fuck with Nicki no more because Cardi's here now.
Bingo.
So now they using that's the same shit.
You see how I wrap around this motherfucking episode? Niggas love Cardi because they hate Nicki.
Because they hate Nicki. That's, you know what I'm saying? All right, we got Cardi now, Nicki. Yep.
You out of here.
You out of here.
You out of here. I equally don't really give a fuck.
Yep. Bag, I think we really just need to dig more deep into the female rap shit. But I hear you though. Go ahead.
I've been trying, but no avail. But yeah, people. That's why I say, look at arguments. Listen to debates. Don't be so quick to jump into the shit. I'm giving you that advice today, Mike. When I'm gonna put this audio up. Because I'm gonna have some time. I created a YouTube page. I'm gonna be putting some of our clips on there. Eventually, be putting our shows and shit.
Some dude pod, we coming, y'all. We coming.
But I want people to hear this. A lot of you, not everybody. I gave you my 3: Mike B, D, and Camp from the Port are true Nas fans. I truly believe that a lot of people that are Nas fans who say that they're Nas fans only like Nas because they don't like Jay-Z. And I believe that people like Illmatic because they don't like Jay-Z. Because they dissing Jay-Z. I hate Blueprint. I hate Jay-Z. Illmatic is one of the greatest albums of all time. And I believe that people like Illmatic because it's anti-Jay-Z, even though that album came out years before Jay-Z drops his debut album in 1996. Because let's be real, if you use the term classic the way that it's supposed to be used over a period of time, year 3, you'll really start to appreciate the greatness that is Illmatic. But at that same time, who drops his debut album? And then on his second album, released a year later in 1997, you argue all day about who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. Mike, that's when the debate started.
Yep, that's when it started.
That's when it started, ladies and gentlemen. Critical thinking, people. See, when I do this motherfucking podcast, I don't just talk. I'm not just one of those niggas that just be talking just to talk. Now, you don't gotta agree with anything that I'm saying. You don't. But I critically think. I look objectively at shit. And you know how objectively I'm looking at this shit, Mike? Yeah. I used to be one of them niggas that didn't like Nas because of Jay-Z. Used to be one of them niggas. Nah, fuck that nigga. My nigga D be arguing about Nas, I be arguing about Jay-Z.
I could say that. I try to I try to find things in ether that I felt like was like bullshit. I tried to look at every possible thing about ether because I wanted Takeover to be the better song.
Yeah.
But I honestly still feel like Takeover is a better. I think Jay's verse for Nas in Takeover is more hits harder. But Nas was coming at home. He was getting them. And I hate it. And I hate the fact that he was. So I still listen to when Ether come on. I'll be like, man, fuck Ether, but he was still smashing on him though. That's why I do that shit. I still do that to this day.
But I'm older now, fam. I ain't that young nigga that just had to pick a rapper, nigga.
Right.
And when I started really listening to Nas' catalog, I said to myself, nigga, I tweaked. And I told both of them niggas that shit. You know what? I tweaked. I'm not a fan of Street's Disciple. I'm not a fan of Godson. I'm honestly not that really big of a fan of Illmatic. But Illmatic, and It Was Written, like I'm one of the few niggas that like Nas Is Coming.
Wait, Nas Is Coming. Which one is that? Which one is that?
Oh, It Was Written. It Was Written.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
I know a lot of niggas that hate that song. I wonder why you hate that song. But no, I wonder why niggas hate that song. Because Dr. Dre wasn't really popping then.
Right.
As we talked about on this pod. It wasn't really hot to be like Dr. Dre was that nigga. Niggas was worried about the Firm album.
That was like 96, right? That was like you said, that was right in between. That was right in between, you know what I'm saying, the Death Row shit and then so
But then niggas started loving them again when 2001 came through. Critical thinking. A lot of y'all niggas let magazines and MTV and because that album to me is the MTV album too. Yep. All them albums that came out 20 years ago, when you celebrate these 20, like especially in 2020, you're celebrating TRL albums, ladies and gentlemen. Because a lot of albums was made for that. To get put on that pedestal, to be on TRL every fucking week. All that shit.
And hey, yo, before we end it, Joe, some niggas said Outkast, Southern Playlist, the Cadillac Music. I'm about to fight you, buddy.
No. I'm gonna agree with that to a point.
Oh, hot take. That might be their best album.
It's not about being their best album. Remember that. Overrated doesn't mean whack.
I know, but
mean whack. Women, no. Listen to me. Overrated doesn't mean whack. But niggas gotta stop acting like they was loving that album when it came out.
Not when it came out, but when you go back
over
and
time,
you listen,
yeah,
man, that shit sounds so
but
good.
Niggas, but see, but I've talked about this on this pod. I've talked about it in outside of this pod that niggas try to rewrite their own history. Niggas wasn't talking about Southern play. Niggas at the crib, really, to be real, niggas ain't really start giving Outkast their flowers until Elevators. Niggas didn't even know that Players Ball was on the LaFace Christmas album.
Absolutely.
Niggas don't know that Puff directed that video.
Fun fact.
Yeah, Southern Playlist, the Cadillac Music. I mean, Players Ball. One of them. Southern Playlist, Cadillac Music. One of them. But they don't know that shit. They don't know the impact that shit had on the South. They really started fucking with that album as niggas grew up. But niggas try to rewrite history and act like that they was on that shit. Cause I remember when I got the AT Aliens album and niggas was looking at me like I was a clown. until they heard Elevators come on GCI. And I knew Elevators was going to be nice because my father was in the car with me. And my father wasn't really trying to listen to anything rap at the time, especially if it came on the radio. He liked the safe rap, the heavy D shit. But when he heard Elevators, we was going to the liquor store. He heard Elevators on the motherfucking radio. And he was like, well, I like this song. And 3K's verse on that motherfucker at the end is one of the greatest verses in hip-hop history. Because that shit still go on to this day. That check the check part. That shit go on today, nigga. But like I said that shit then. I said it then. So I'm not trying to revise history and say that I was in love with some shit when I was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. That's a lot of what niggas is doing nowadays. That shit's whack. Be real in your assessments. That's why I came in nigga last week. Nick say, hey, I've learned over time. But let's not start acting like niggas was really. That's why that content shit is important. It's great to look back and be like, oh yeah. But I stand on that shit, man. Niggas like Illmatic because they don't like Jay-Z. Niggas like Blueprint because they don't like Nas. People like Illmatic because they want to be anti. They wanted to be anti all of the shit that started, including Biggie. Because a lot of niggas was anti-Biggie when Biggie came out because the samples and shit. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Niggas was like Puff. Oh, he coming up in there remixing songs and shit. Oh, man, fuck that nigga. Juicy, that's basically Juicy Fruit by N2 The fuck? Nobody will hear that damn shit. Now all of a sudden, it was all a dream. I used to be Word Up Magazine, salt and pepper and every deep on the limousine. Fuck out of here, G.
He didn't want to hear that shit at first.
Exactly. Niggas heard Warning and was like, this nigga's cold. Niggas heard Juice and they're like, get that shit out of here. Hey, to get involved in the conversation, man, hashtag some dude pod. Tell me if I'm lying. Bears game come on tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So you got time to argue with me today. I got time for niggas today. Bears Rams tonight.
I got it. Shout out to the Bears fans though. A lot of niggas took that trip to LA, yo. A lot of my Facebook friends.
Yeah, I
and
ain't
shit,
doing
like
that
you know.
shit. My cousin did that shit.
Yeah, a lot of niggas in LA right now.
I'm not doing that shit at all because I'm nervous.
Come on. What you nervous about?
I'm nervous about that game, Jack.
They should win. Hey, I got some squares too, boy. The Bears game, I need a 6-3 for the I need 6-3. It's $125 on the line. I need all that.
But man, if you got any
I think
thoughts,
the Bears gonna be good though.
I hope so. But nah, man. Like, if you have any thoughts on the Colin Kaepernick shit, if you got any thoughts on the Nicki Minaj joint, you know, and I think you and I like I said, wrap that bitch up. I think a lot of people don't like Nicki Minaj because they love Cardi and they want to love something new. Ladies and gentlemen, you ain't got to hate some shit because you want to love something new. You just don't like some shit, you just don't like some shit. But you ain't got to hate some shit because you want to love something new. But if you got any thoughts on that Nicki Minaj shit, hashtag some dude pod, get involved in the conversation. If you hate what I said about 2001, which I said impact-wise and production-wise is a classic, but based off of what y'all niggas be talking about as a classic, it's not. But that part of the shit, yeah, some dude hashtag some dude pod. The Nas shit, how niggas say this, niggas say it's an overrated album. I think it's a top 5 hip hop album. I think it is. Mike say top 10. I think it's top 5. But if you feel the type of way, because niggas say that, you know, that album is overrated, but also niggas got to know what overrated mean. Because I said, give me an album that's overrated, and niggas just was like, anything Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep. Nigga, give me an album.
That's when it got weird. That's when it got weird. I told you, that's another reason why it got weird in the comments.
Because saying something overrated is not time for you to show your bias or how you hate some shit. It just say, hey man, this album ain't as good as what I think y'all claim it to be.
Nigga said everything after Marshall Mathers LP. Man, you like that shit.
Nah, Marshall Mathers LP.
Classic.
No, I agree with that shit. I think Marshall Mathers LP is a classic. I think impact-wise, Slim Shady is a classic because they really put him on the pedestal. Everything after that shit, I think is not as good as what niggas say it is. And
Eminem show.
Like
Eminem show.
Hey man,
Eminem show. Then you can say anything after Eminem show, then you could argue. But his first 3 albums are classics. But yeah, we could have that discussion later. Did you listen to Rated R yet, niggas? Yo, we need you to put that Rihanna album in rotation.
Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download on the What Digital. All of our podcasts will be on there. We got some shit coming up soon.
Woo!
That beat cold though.
That's hard.
Beat cold.
That's hard.
Beat cold though. But we out, man.
Damn. Some dude pod. Y'all already know what it is, man. We out.